everyone, I'm Rebecca and welcome back to my sewing room. So today we are going to start a challenge. I have seen several other people on YouTube do a I wore a corset for set amount of time type video, and I thought, why not join in the fun? I actually wanted to do this video quite some time ago, and in fact I think back in like January or something like that I actually did start to do this, and I made it 2 days in, realized that my life was incredibly boring and no one would want to watch me do nothing in a corset, and decided to scrap the whole thing and put it off for some time when things would be more interesting. So I figured that things might be a little bit more interesting this week. I hope I'm not wrong, but I actually meant to do this intro this morning, except that I was running late for a thing that was already interesting. So I have already been wearing my corset now. This is my 1860s style corset, which if you want to see more of the different corsets, I will link a couple of videos down in the playlist below about my corsets, but you'll see some of them, not all of them, in this video. So anyway, I have been wearing this corset now since about, I think, 12:30, and it is now 5 o'clock. And I am hoping that for each day of this challenge, I can make it like about 10 or so hours of wearing the corset, at least. If I go more, great, but I want to go at least 10 hours a day. So the reason that I put mine on today at about 12:30 was because we are having a 2-show performance day of Little Women today, and I wear the corset for Little Women. So I figured it would be perfect to just start the challenge today and see how this goes. So today I've already done one performance, and now I'm on a quick dinner break, and then I will go back to the theater in about an hour and do another performance. If possible, I might do a little backstage whatever to show you what we're doing backstage. Obviously I can't film anything during the show, that doesn't work, so I can't show you what I'm up to on stage in the corset, but suffice to say, it is actually, you know, movement and singing really high stuff and belting and all sorts of other movement that is totally, you know, fine in a corset, because corsets don't really inhibit your movement. And so that'll be tonight with the show. So I'll be wearing this corset at least through about 10 o'clock. I guess I'll try to aim for 10:30 since I put it on at about 12:30. And then tomorrow we are going to have another performance, and tomorrow I'm going to be Jo, which means I will not have time to film backstage, but there's a lot that Jo does movement-wise in this corset. So yeah, anyway, I am going to check back in, hopefully again backstage with the next bit, but again, I've already been wearing this for 4.5+ hours, and I feel totally fine. I may or may not wear the same corset every day. I am obviously going to wear the same corset today and tomorrow because it is the 1860s corset that I wear in Little Women, which takes place in the 1860s. But for the rest of the week, I might vary it up. But I've got some really fun things planned this week, and also some tedious things planned this week, and I want to show you that all of them are totally possible in a corset, and hopefully I won't die, you know, putting up my Halloween decorations or mowing the lawn or whatever you do in a week, because I mean there's going to be working and other boring stuff like that too. Anyway, I am going to see you in a little bit. So I meant to check in at intermission regarding corset, but I totally forgot. So anyway, I am still wearing the corset. It has now been this is Dawn, she's saying hi. It has now been, I don't know what time it is, my watch isn't turning on, so I think about 10 hours that I've been wearing the corset. It's totally fine, and I'm going to try to make sure that I wear it until 10:30 so that I can get the full 10 hours, because I don't know what we're at yet. So I'm going to wear it home, and I don't know, maybe I'll say something else at home if it's not that much time. I really don't understand why Fitbits don't turn on when you shake your hand, and yet the off-brand ones do. And I just don't know what time it is now. Anyway, I will see you in a little bit. So I'm in the car now, about to go home. But I've got to say, one of the, I feel like, hardest things about corsets in general is actually driving in a car, because the seats are just not built for it. They're just a little too reclined for wearing a corset. The other thing that this corset in particular does is that I have found that if I bend too much at the waist, which tends to be sitting down, then the bottom of the corset will actually flip up. I don't know if anyone's ever experienced this before. I don't think I've ever had this with a different corset. It's just this 1860s one, and the 1860s one has huge hip springs, so I don't don't know if that has something to do with it, but literally, so this part right here of the corset, if I bend too much, there we go, it actually like pops up. This is the bottom of the corset, which is just like really weird. It does it sometimes when I'm on stage too, which is really annoying. And I mean, the skirts help to weigh it down a little bit, but I don't know. Let me know, comment below if you've ever experienced that. I feel like it's weird and I haven't experienced it except for this corset. So anyway, I'm going home. So I am back home. It is now 10:30, which means it is time to take off the corset. And I've got to say, like, the corset itself hasn't been bugging me at all. However, I am looking forward to vegging on the couch or like the recliner, which it doesn't work that great at all in a corset. So yeah, I'm glad that I'm going to be taking it off, and it's going to be interesting to see how I feel after the show tomorrow, since there's just one show. To the idea of like keeping the corset on after that is going to be hard to stomach, I'm sure, since I'll want to veg. And of course for me, vegging means sewing or editing videos or whatever. But I've got to say, the corset right now, it is bugging me a whole lot less after these 10 hours than my hair is. So I'm actually wearing 2 hair pieces here for Meg, and that's hurting my head. About halfway through the last show, it just started pulling like crazy. Whereas the corset, honestly, like, it feels warm for sure, but it just feels like a hug. So unless you are vegging, it really is not uncomfortable at all. This corset now was made for me. I made it for myself, so it does fit me perfectly. But yeah, I mean, I don't find corsets uncomfortable at all. They just feel a little restraining is all. And I'm going to try to take this off without taking off my shirt and skirt. I've already undone the laces in the back. There we go. Corset is off, complete with mic pack attached to corset. So I will put this on again, probably at about noonish or so tomorrow, and I will see you then. All right, it is 12:15 on Sunday. I have just put the 1860s corset on, which I probably should have found a way to like show you instead of fully tucking it in to my shirt and skirt and everything, but I do have the corset on. One of the actually more challenging things about this is figuring out what you can wear on top of a corset. Obviously, most of the items in my closet are not meant to be worn with a corset other than like costumes, and I don't want to wear costumes. And so you really have to keep in mind, if you have a lot of waist reduction, that, which mine is about, I think, 2 inches difference or so, you have to keep in mind how things are gonna fit. So like I went for an elastic skirt today and yesterday, elastic waist skirt, because those can tend to, you know, conform a little better. I have noticed that when I've tried to wear other things, I either wind up with gapping. If it's like a dress, I'll wind up with gapping, or if it is a skirt that has a non-elastic waistband, I'll actually have to like pin it shut past where it would normally hook or wherever. It's a little bit of a challenge to figure that out, but this outfit works great. I've got my fall skirt on that I made last year. I will pop a link to this video if you want to learn how to make a skirt out of a tablecloth. That's what this is. And I'll pop a link to that video down in the description below. But I am going to go head out to the show. And since I'm Joe today, there is no chance for me to take any video. I am busy the whole show. So I will see you back here after the show. I am now back from the show. I tried to rescue my hair from it being out from under a wig for hours, and I'm still wearing the corset. I really want to take it off, honestly, just because I want to veg, but I'm going to go walk Lion, and then I will debate about taking it off, because then I'm going to have dinner and edit some videos and hopefully work on this project, and that is the rest of my evening. But I don't want to do all of that in a corset. So we'll see how much longer I last in this. But yeah, it's been 5.5 hours so far, which means I'm aiming for 4.5 hours more. And 10 hours a day might be a little long. So we'll see how this challenge goes. Well, it is now 6:20. I am just back from the walk and I am going to call it. I want to go crash on the couch, so I don't want a corset on. So it's time to take the corset off. Yeah, maybe my goal of making it 10 hours a day was not that realistic. I don't know. The hardest part, or the hardest thing to do in a corset, is to lounge. in my opinion. Like really anything else you can do pretty well just fine. In fact, I'm going to try, if I remember, to record next weekend at next weekend's shows, but we are doing vocal warm-ups earlier today at today's show, and I was thinking like, yeah, I mean, like corsets almost feel like they give you more support while singing, just for example. And there are other things too that if you think about it, a corset is not that different from like a back brace. So really things where you might want your back supported, it may in fact actually give you more support as opposed to restrict your movement or anything like that. So, all right, here we are. Corset is off. I'm gonna go crash on the couch. I will see you tomorrow morning, and probably I will wear a different corset tomorrow since I don't want to wear this one out too much, especially because I've still got one more weekend of shows wearing this corset. Have a good night. It is 9:30 a.m. on day 3 now of this week, and today I have opted to go for this little waspy corset. I got this at a secondhand costume shop several years ago. So this one is a store-bought corset. It does not actually fit me entirely correctly. It's a little bit too small, as in the hip gore right here isn't actually centered over my hip. It's a little bit forward. Like this is the side seam, should be about maybe an inch or so back from where it is. So it's a little bit small, but let me show you why I have opted to go for this kind of lesser, easier corset today. It's because last night at about 11:30, as I was getting ready for bed, my closet collapsed. Yes, again. If you've been around my channel for over a year, you might remember that my closet, in fact, collapsed in August of last year, August of 2020, and now here it is, it has collapsed again. I had put 4 brackets into the studs, but apparently 4 brackets either wasn't enough or my screws weren't long enough or something, because here we are, all of my clothes and everything, my bags, all of that just crashed onto the floor. So that means that on top of my already way too full and physically demanding to-do list today, I have to rebuild my closet. And also that involves going to Home Depot and moving all of the clothes off of the closet rod that's sitting on the floor onto my bed, putting up the 7 new brackets and the shelf and the rod, and putting all of the clothes back into the closet. That was on top already of my to-do list of mowing the lawn, cleaning my toilet, decorating my house for Halloween, and ideally working on the sewing, and of course the fact that I work until 4 p.m. today. So I am actually going to get back to work now, and I'm hoping that on my lunch break I can do a little bit of the mowing of the lawn, because tomorrow it rains. So the lawn has to get mowed today. That is no question at all. The closet could always go into tomorrow if I don't get to that. But yeah, I did not need this today. Did not. So wish me luck that I can get everything done and that I can actually maintain wearing this corset for the entire time as well. This one does give me pretty good range of mobility. It is quite heavily boned, it's steel boned, but I think I'll be okay because it kind of just feels like I'm wearing a very overly large belt. It is now 1:50 p.m. and I am just back from lunch, back to work. I'm here in the office, and by office I mean my home office because I work from home. And the nice thing about working from home is that at lunch I was able to go and do some of those chores. So I cleaned the toilet, which that actually was a little bit difficult even in this little waspy corset, just because you are so bent over when you're cleaning a toilet. But I mean, it doesn't take long, so you know, wasn't too bad. And then I also mowed the front lawn and about 1/3 of my back lawn. My backyard is really quite large and my lawnmower battery is quite old, so that's all I got. But it's kind of nice that it divides the work up and puts it in easy chunks, and hopefully later I will be able to go back out there after work and do the rest of the lawn so that it doesn't look half done, or 1/3 done in this case. And then also after work, I need to go run over to Home Depot and get the new brackets and screws for the closet and try to do all of that. So I have not attempted any of the closet yet. I'm leaving that for an after work thing. But yeah, I've got to say though, actually harder than mowing the lawn, because mowing the lawn, honestly, super, super easy in a corset. If anything, it gives you a little bit more structure as you are pushing the lawnmower. My lawnmower is also a self-propelled lightweight lawnmower, so it's easy to do. But even going up hills and stuff, it's not hard in a corset. And actually sitting here at my desk at the office, that has been much more of like a conscious thing, being conscious of the corset, because I really do have to be sitting up straight, no slouching while you're working when you're wearing a corset. So that has been a little bit interesting. Actually, if anything, it almost helped keep me a little bit more awake this morning pre-coffee. And now it's just that it's keeping me sitting upright. So I guess that's good overall, good for my posture. But anyway, I am going to get back to work and I will see you after work, probably when I'm starting on the closet. So it is now time to attempt the closet pull out of all of the clothes. I already started a couple piles and then realized, oh, I should probably be filming this, but I am going to take everything, or attempt to take everything that is on that fallen pole and get it onto my bed, or at least not under there, because then I have to drill the holes in the wall and I don't want to get things covered with the wallboard dust stuff. So yeah, let's get to it. Everything. Let me show you this ridiculous pile. I am very well aware that this may be the real reason that my closet collapsed. Not the brackets, not the screws, not anything like that, but just the sheer quantity of ridiculousness that was hanging on that bar. There's probably some stuff I can get rid of, but honestly, like, I do wear a lot of it. I'll have to maybe do a little bit of a purge. Also, this is all the crap that's still on the floor that I still have to clean. Sigh. So I've now been wearing the corset for about 6.5 or 7 hours, something like that. And it's really only in the last like 15 minutes or so that it has started to feel annoying. That was after I did the closet moving of everything, and also after finishing my workday, obviously, and also doing another third of the back lawn. And now all of a sudden it's just like, oh, why am I still wearing this? So I'm not sure what the change was. Maybe it's just kind of reaching that like 6-hour mark that made it annoying or something, I don't know. But I now have to go off to Home Depot to get the brackets for the closet. I am going to keep it on. We'll see how long I make it. I don't know if I'll make it all 10 or not, but I feel like while I'm still active and doing things, it's kind of fine. It's the, I've finished everything, now I'm going to go sit down and relax for a little bit. That's when it gets harder. So I tried to sit down for about 10 minutes and it was like, why are you wearing this corset? So yeah. But running off to Home Depot and doing the closet and hopefully walking lion and maybe even putting up Halloween decorations, if I can do all of that before it gets dark, that shouldn't actually be too bad. So I'm gonna get going to that. Oh, there is one other thing that I want to report on, which is I kind of probably made a bad choice in my wardrobe today because I chose to wear tights. And the tights with the corset is actually, that's causing problems. Just mainly that the corset is making the tights fall down. So I'm out there like mowing the lawn and I can feel the tights slipping. So I think it's just because of the way that it's changing my waist. The tights can't actually also get to my natural waist where they normally live. And so they are just wanting to fall. So there you go, wearing tights and relaxing, hard things to do when you're wearing corsets. Other than that, honestly, not too bad so far. So I will be back with you later. Oh, and there is one other thing that I've noticed that is very interesting to me. I know that some people do use waist training and stuff as a diet exercise. Now, I am not laced tightly at all today, but it is 4:30 now, and I have eaten a bowl of Count Chocula and 2 cups of coffee. and that's all I've had today. Normally Count Chocula, which I ate I think at about like 10 o'clock, normally that would, honestly, it's not, you know, nutritional at all. It would leave me feeling hungry a couple of hours later, and it has now been 6 hours and I'm still not hungry. So I'll probably eat when I get back from Home Depot, but like, that's weird. We have reached the 9.5 and a little bit hour mark of wearing the corset. Since I last checked in with you, I went to Home Depot, got all my brackets and screws and everything that I need to fix the closet, and then I actually decided to go and get my oil changed. So I did that too, came home, mowed the rest of the lawn, and then walked Lion, and now here we are. So I've done a lot today, and at this point I have kind of 3 options of what I could do next. I could either eat dinner, because I still have not eaten since the bowl of Count Chocula at about 10 a.m., which is, again, really weird, or I could veg on the couch for a little bit, or I could go start drilling the holes in the closet. All of which I feel like I would rather do not in the corset. So I'm gonna think about if I can actually make it the next 20 minutes before taking it off, because that's all I need. But I'm going to go ahead and close out today's here. Obviously, I did a whole ton in the corset and I'm just fine, though it was the waspy corset. I'm not sure what corset I'll wear tomorrow, but I will see you tomorrow morning for a check-in with that decision. It is now Tuesday. I did not put the corset on right away this morning because last night was an ordeal, which I will tell you about in a minute, but it is actually lunchtime. It's 12:30, so there's no way that I'm going to wear the corset for 10 hours today. It's just not going to happen, but yeah, last night was just a lot. So basically what happened, just after I left you guys, I did wind up wearing the corset for the full 10 hours yesterday. I wore it until 7:30, I think it was, and I, in that time, marked out where the drill holes for the closet would be. Then I took the corset off, went to go eat dinner, and went to go back to do the actual drilling and everything for the closet. Except that Dora had brought in a live mouse into the office. So then I spent a little bit of time chasing the mouse around the office until it climbed into the baseboard heater. And there it stayed for hours. And so I tried to scare it out, I tried to coax it out, I kept checking on it occasionally to see if it was ready to come out yet, and in the meantime I went and I spent a couple of hours hanging up everything in the closet. So, which was so difficult, and I'm so glad that I did not try doing that in a corset because it was hard enough not in a corset. Oh my god. Just like, why don't screws go into the holes that you drill? Why don't they just go in? I don't get it. Anyway, the closet is all done now. Here's a picture of it. And the mouse has been captured because literally 15 minutes after I finished the closet, I went and checked on, or was about to check on, the mouse again, and I heard noises from the office where the mouse had been trapped. So the office luckily does not have much furniture in it. It has a chair, my desk chair, and my desk, and that is it. And there's like not hiding places except for the baseboard heater. So as soon as I heard noises from a room that was totally closed up, I knew the mouse was out of the heater. And I was able to trap it and bring it outside, and hopefully Dora doesn't bring it back or catch it or whatever. Oh my god. Anyway, so all of that was done, but I wound up staying up until after 2 a.m. last night and woke up this morning at 7:25. So that's why no corset this morning. So I am in the middle of my work day right now. I am going to get back to work next, but after work today, it's raining, so I'm not going to be able to put up the Halloween decorations that I wanted to put up, but I have some filming to do. I really, really want to work on / get close to finishing the Gunny Sacks dress that you may or may not have already seen by the time you see this. So I really want to get back to that, and I think that is mostly it. I have some cleaning to do also around the house, but not too bad. I did some of that this morning. So yeah, I'm gonna go back to it and we'll see how long I last in this corset. Ready? Are you filming?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Since I forgot it first. Okay, now I think we need to go. Wait. Look, we need to take this way. Are you gonna get trapped?
No. Because I just
Just watch a picture.
I am a skinny man.
Okay.
Yeah, he
Okay,
thinks.
so we should probably move it further back first.
Okay. More?
Right about there. Much further and it will be too far to...
Yeah.
It's a handsome husband.
Okay. Do you hear me drop it? Because then we can just...
Walk it.
Or shove it.
Well, I was thinking more, it's easier to...
Look at her go.
Oh, well, I wasn't doing that.
Well, this was the heaviest corner to
But
do
now,
that anyway.
now we can...
You want it all the way in the corner?
Yeah.
You want it just up against this, or...?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Just like trap it in the corner there.
Okay.
Oh. Is it against the wall?
It was close to against
there's
the wall.
one thing before we get completely against the wall.
The plug?
The plug. Where was the plug? Oh, it's on that side, right?
Yeah.
Guys, move.
We can move couches in a corset. So as you saw, I forgot to mention the one big thing that was on my to-do list today that might be more challenging in a corset, which was to move the sofa bed in from the garage into the house for my parents who are coming to visit this week. So luckily, Emily and her husband Gabe and Rachel all came and helped move it, but yeah, it's totally possible to move a sofa in a corset. And if anything, again, it probably gives like some back brace-ish qualities. I don't know. All of that said, it has been just under 7 hours at this point of wearing the corset, and I think I'm gonna go take it off because I have work to do on my current project where I need to actually try it on, which means that the fitting is going to not fit right with the corset on, and also I need to not have a long sleeve underneath, and I'm wearing this underneath the corset. So I might as well just like take it off, work on that project and eat dinner and all of that sort of stuff. I think my appetite was a bit suppressed today, but since I put the corset on later in the day, I had already eaten breakfast. Well, I guess I didn't eat lunch. I ate brunch. So yeah, maybe this really does suppress my appetite. I don't know. In any case, I will see you tomorrow, and I'll try wearing a different corset tomorrow, I think, as opposed to my cheater little waspy waist. Now Wednesday afternoon, and I am done with work for the day. I have been wearing my corset now. I got another late start, so I've only been wearing my corset now for about like 4-ish hours, and I'm cheating again. I'm wearing the underbust corset, but that's just because sitting at my desk is just difficult in an overbust corset. Also, I know that I am about to work some more on my gunny sack dress, and I'm going to actually have to take the corset off for fitting because I'm not wearing a corset with a dress. So when I go to put the corset back on after I'm done with the fitting, then I think I'm gonna go ahead and switch to a longer corset for the rest of the day. I was really hoping to maybe get Halloween decorations up or something like that today and show you that, but it's raining again, so I don't know that that's ever gonna happen. Who knows if I'll have Halloween decorations for Halloween because it's been raining every day. Not that I am begrudging anything. We had the driest summer ever and we need the rain, so this is fine, but it's a lot. So what I have done today in the corset, besides working, is I've done the laundry, which you saw a little clip of, and that is about it. Other than that, I've really just been working, so boring day. But now we're gonna be doing other things now the work is done, so time to sew. Well, the rain has stopped while there is still at least about an hour or so of daylight left, and so that means it is time to decorate. So I have put on a corset. This is my 1900s like S-bend flat front, whichever term you prefer to use, corset from Truly Victorian TVE01, I think, that I made last year in 2020. And I just went to go put my skirt on, which is not an elastic waist skirt, and it's like 1.5 inches too big. So I guess this means I have to change my skirt too, which is probably for the best because I probably shouldn't be wearing this nice velvet skirt while I go decorate things outside. But yeah, I'm gonna go change my skirt, then I am gonna go put some Halloween decorations up. Well, all of the Halloween decorations are now up. I'm so glad that I was able to get the whole house done. I might put up a few more lights, but at least for now it is done. And I've walked Lion, and I went to go make an every plate dinner that I had from like 3 weeks ago, and obviously I should not be cooking meat from 3 weeks ago, so I threw that out. And now I'm going to figure out what to do for dinner. But you know what? After I eat dinner, I want to crash on the couch. I'm tired. I will probably come back in here and sew later after crashing on the couch, but for now I'm going to take the corset off. It's only been about 7 hours since I first put the other one on today, and there was about an hour in there, so maybe a little less, maybe 45 minutes in there that I was not wearing the corset because I was doing fittings for sewing. So today I definitely didn't make that 10-hour goal. Maybe I'll decide to put the corset on later, in which case you will see me more later, but otherwise I'm pooped. So I am going to undo the Edwardian corset, which actually this corset worked great for putting up those decorations because it really does have quite a lot of flexibility through the front, even though it's so long. And because it's so long, it doesn't do that flippy thing like my 1860s one does, where it flips up. So yeah, this one is honestly, it's a very comfortable corset. I could have laced it tighter, but I laced it like snugly comfortable. I mean, like, I don't know, it seemed like it was quite lace closed, more so than usual in the back, but it was still totally comfortable and didn't feel tight at all. Of course, I had been wearing another corset earlier in the day, so that could have been why. But yeah, time to take it off. So I realized I am actually stuck in my petticoat. I can't do this right here on camera. So I'm gonna go look in a mirror and get this off. I may or may not see you later, and otherwise I will see you tomorrow. It is now Thursday, and I have just put on my corset for the day. It's about 11 a.m. and I took a little break in the middle of my morning work day to put the corset on. I'm gonna go back to work, and I'll probably see you again at lunch because I have to do some cleaning of the house at lunch. My parents get here tonight. So I decided to go with the Edwardian one again because it really gave me a lot of mobility yesterday when I was putting up the Halloween decorations, and also I wanted this aesthetic, but I didn't think about the fact that my waist was going to be way smaller again. So I have pinned the waist of my skirt, but it is like at least 2 to 3 inches smaller than normal in this corset. It gives me quite a lot of waist reduction even without any discomfort whatsoever. Like, just closing this corset gives me waist reduction. There's not even any way to like stop that. And so yeah, this is really, really overlapped over here, but it kind of works. I mean, it's in a side seam with the pocket, so I feel like it doesn't look that obvious. And I just really liked all of the various purples going on. So that's what today's is. I'm probably going to change it later when I go to pick up my parents, assuming that I am still good wearing a corset by then, but I will probably change it to something that looks a little bit more like outerwear, probably the black waspy corset. But we're going to do the interesting test today of seeing, is this corset just as comfortable sitting for 4 or 5 hours at my office desk as it was to put up the Halloween decorations yesterday? Because obviously very, very different activities. This corset is very long. It goes down to here. I'm off frame, you can't even see. It goes down to here, and so sitting in my office chair is going to be interesting. We'll see how comfortable it is, but I liked the outfit. So that's what today is. I am going to go get back to work, and I will see you at lunch when I'm cleaning the bathroom. That moment when you've only had your corset on a half hour and FedEx knocks on the door and delivers your new eShakti order with 4 amazing dresses that you really want to try on, but you just put your corset on. I guess I'll have to be patient and try these on later. By the way, I am planning to probably do a haul video of these dresses and maybe I haven't bought anything else recently, so I guess it's just gonna be these dresses, and I am planning on doing that. Let me know if that's something you'd be interested in down in the comments below, because I'm so excited about these. Dashwood was aghast, but I could not care less. Words I spoke ignited the air. I felt like a publishing lioness. That's when Dashwood started to shout, and I thought he'd throw me out. But then I persevered, and the forest appeared at the weekly volcano press. The forest is dark and scary. Clarissa enters trembling, fearful of what fate awaits her. She comes to a fork in the road and stops. Which way do I go? A hag appears. The path is perilous. She avoids swamps. She loses her footing. Her shoes tumble off. The sleeve of her dress gets caught on a twisted limb. She comes to wild rapids and can go no further. How do I get across? A troll appears. Sometimes when you dream, your dreams come true in extraordinary ways. Suddenly a day can be so amazing. And sometimes when you yarn, you burn the air. And someone else feels the flame you always knew was there. And Clarissa raced from the forest, raced to the moors, where she cried out, I have returned, Braxton! I will free the moors of your tyranny! Fight me! Clarissa thrusts, she parries, she backs up Braxton, pins him against a tree. She leaps up on a craggy rock, her sword swooshing and swooshing. Never has she been more determined. She is on fire! Pity she hadn't taken dueling lessons. But out of nowhere, who should appear but the long-forgotten Rodrigo? And then Dashwood got on his knees, crying, sell this to me, please. Then he ordered for more. Now I'm writing for the weekly volcano press. I'm ready for destiny. My tresses are curled. I'll take what is rightly mine with curtains unfurled. I will not quit. I won't be forgotten. I will shine, I'll dazzle and more. I'm ready to take a bow. I've taken a solemn vow. My destiny here and now. I'll astonish the world. So the corset did just fine at work. This one really does help me to sit up very, very upright, so I'm pretty sure I had excellent posture today. Was fine cleaning the bathroom too, fine cleaning out the car. The one thing that is not fine with wearing this corset is the fact that I'm, for some reason, still trying to freaking wear tights with my corsets this week, because that's the kind of weather that we're having. It's tights weather. And so I've been annoyed at myself for continuing to wear tights every day, because this corset really does a number on the tights. I mean, I can't get the tights like anywhere near where they want to go, which is past my natural waist. I cannot access this area. I can barely access this area. And so the tights just the whole time have just been wanting to slide down like crazy. So it is now 5 o'clock. I have been wearing the corset for 6+ hours, something like that. And I have about an hour until I have to go get my parents from the airport. I still have to walk Lion, and I was wanting to both run my lines for Joe, because I run my lines every day, and also work more on my gunny sacks dress. I was wanting to do that before picking them up at the airport. I don't think I have time for all that, but I'm definitely gonna walk Lion. However, I'm not gonna walk Lion sending my tights around my ankles. So you know what? Corset's coming off. I was already not sure about wearing it to go get them anyway, so I'm just gonna take the corset off an hour early and walk Lion without my tights falling down, because yeah, that would be obnoxious. So I don't know if I'll put it back on for today. My guess is not, because I think once I pick my parents up, we are going to go get dinner and then come home and veg a bit. So yeah, I didn't make it very far today. Again, it's been 6+ hours. I guess that the 10-hour mark might have just been a bit extreme. I'm not sure what I was thinking, because I feel like 10 hours is a long chunk of a day, and yeah. Anyway, I am going to go walk Lion. I decided I'd put a corset back on for Lion's Walk after all, except really not really, because I made this back in 2010. This is, I think, from actually before I started historical costuming, and I made this for like Halloween, I think, and it's a little big, but it's cute, so it goes nicely with this outfit. So, and it's still boned, so therefore it's corset, right? It's boned, laces up the front, kind of mostly fitted. We'll call it a corset. I'm still wearing one. I know, I'm really not, but I'm gonna go walk Lion now. It is now Friday, the final day of the Wearing a Corset Everyday Challenge, and honestly I started so late today that it's almost not wearing a corset today, except of course that I have to wear one for the show. So earlier today I shot the final look of my Gunny Sachs dress, which is not meant to go over corset, so I was not wearing one. So now that I am prepping for the show, it is about 5:30, just before 5:30, and I have put my corset on. We're back in the 1860s corset, and I'll be wearing this for the rest of the night, definitely all through the show, and at least long enough to come home afterwards and talk to you guys and finish out this video. So I will try and bring my camera backstage and see if I can do any filming backstage, because this is my last Meg show and I'll have a little bit more time, but I cannot make any promises. So otherwise I will just see you at the end of today.
They always do!
Clarissa thrusts, she parries, she backs up Braxton, pins him against a tree, she leaps up on a craggy rock, her sword swishing and swooshing. Never has she been so determined. She is on fire! Pity she hadn't taken dueling lessons.
Hip hop, hip hop, hip hop, hip hop, hip hop. Hip hop, hip hop, hip hop, hip hop, hip hop.
Alright, it is end of corset day, show is over, and I have worn my costume home because that was my last Meg performance. So this costume gets to go back in the closet. I have now been wearing the corset for about 5.5 hours, so even though I started super late, I'm wearing it super late because of the show, so that is fine. It's still very comfortable. I mean, like, I drove home, it was totally fine. Overall, my takeaways from this week of wearing a corset every day for a week challenge, I think the biggest takeaway is, oh my god, do yourself a favor, don't try to wear tights with a corset. Tights and corsets are not friends. They do not participate together. So yeah, don't try and wear tights with a corset, because your tights will just fall down the whole time because you can't get to your smallest part of your waist where tights like to live. So yeah. But other than that, honestly, it wasn't too bad. Again, like the relaxing thing, not the greatest. I'm glad that I didn't try to clean the bathtub or hang the closet wearing the corset. But beyond that, like, corsets, they're fine. They're comfortable. They just kind of feel like someone's hugging you around the waist. They're really not bad at all. So this is the 1860s corset. I'm gonna put this back on as Joe tomorrow, but this is the end of this video. So I do hope that you enjoyed this video of wearing a corset every day for a whole week. If you like this video, please go ahead and click the thumbs up icon. And if you'd like to see more videos like this from me, please go ahead and click subscribe and the little bell icon to be notified every time I post a new video. I do post videos here on YouTube twice a week, with my sewing vlogs out on Tuesdays and other costuming content like this out on Saturdays, but I post every day over on my Instagram, so please go follow me on Instagram. That's at Lady Rebecca Fashions. And if you'd like to help support all of the work that I do on this channel, I do have a link to my Patreon and my Ko-fi down in the description below. I'd also like to give a huge shout out to my Edwardian level patron, Sharon. Thank you all so much for joining me today. Have a wonderful week, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Happy sewing!